Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back here again for another stream. We are going to wrap up season 1 of our Ultimate Team because season 2 drops tomorrow. There's kind of big news for Miami fans on this. New card got dropped. I'm going to show you that. Always good when new Miami guys get added to the catalog. So I'll show you that. If you haven't seen it yet, we'll take a look at that. Maybe we'll pick them up. We'll see. Hopefully everybody had a good day. And just kind of a little update on So again, if you followed the stream last night, a little bit of an update. So they did practice day, no access. And then tomorrow they're actually scheduled to have a night practice. And we are scheduled to get head coach Mario Cristobal and both coordinators. That is on the plan for tomorrow afternoon press conference. So that's good. We've not heard from the coordinators since media day. And then Coach Cristobal has spoken one other time since fall practices began. So that'll be good. Good to get some comments there. You can drop in the comments in the chat. We could talk about the team, kind of what you're thinking right now. August 13th, right around the midway point of fall camp. That's kind of the reason why they wanted the coordinators to speak what we were told. So that's good. So we'll get a little bit of update. I have some questions. I'll definitely ask both of them, both coordinators. So that'll be good. Welcome again. Hopefully the music, the background is good, not too loud. I'm just kind of hanging out here. Yeah, but we are I'm going to show you again, if you're new to this, but again, wrapping up season 1, we maxed out the field pass, happy about that. But we need to go ahead and I might play some challenges here. We need to open up some packs. So we'll do that, knock that out. But here, I'll show you the Miami guy that was added to the catalog today with the new Mainstays Volume 3 drop. Yeah, just go to the catalog. Look, there's 50 right now, 50 cards. But here it is. It's Mark Fletcher. Mainstays card. Looks pretty good. That Mainstays graphic is pretty good. The artwork. An 84 overall. They call him a north-south receiver type back. So 83 speed.
Walt Disney World theme parks are the place to celebrate graduates here in Florida.
That stands out. Juke move 8, so 84 trucking. That's all right.
You did it, Brian.
82 acceleration. Right now, our running backs, he wouldn't be our top rated guy. We've got 2 higher than an 84 with Tiki Barber and 86. And then got another running back as well. But we might pick up Fletcher. Maybe we'll do that. Let's look real quick what he's going for. I was looking earlier. It was just under 40,000 coins. So that's a 27 right now, 27,000. That's not bad at all in comparison to the other ones I was seeing. They were closer to 40. Kind of these ones. So yeah, 35 to 40,000. So see low 30s, 31. Now you're starting to see a 27.
Competition isn't that
we'll snipe that.
The trash talk. Next
for the stream for you guys.
Oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
But the big thing right now is I want to just knock out these coin packs for season 1.
And Smoothie King is here to help you power through.
We're sitting at, I've been kind of doing that throughout the day.
Through back-to-back meetings. Give your body the energy, protein, and
this coin conversion pack. So we're not going to go with any of these. The 10,000, the TJ Parker, that'd be our best defensive tackle, but 10,000 trophies was a lot. So we passed on him. I think 86. They're starting to drop 88s and 89s. So I think the Parko card will quickly get passed up. But did pick up Alex Perry there. Big receiver. With the upgrade token, probably going to use it on Perry, which the upgrade token, if you got to level 51 on the field pass, you get to upgrade any of these guys to an 87. So Perry, taking him to an 87, that'd be a good receiver. We also have Payne, who's not been playing for us. We've got better tight ends. And then Darius Taylor, I'm a fan of. Wouldn't mind taking him to an 87. He'd be our best back. And then I bought a few of these packs, but nothing big out of these. And so that's why we're just going to go through the coins. So on the trophies, to flip it here. And the reason you do it is because it's not going to carry over. The trophies aren't going to carry over to season 2. Yeah, and earlier today, the season 2, you can see it there, the blue trophy for season 2. They're already getting it ready, and that's going to go live tomorrow. They'll do a typical maintenance thing, and then it'll go live. So definitely, if you guys are on this, drain out your trophies, buy players if you need them, or do the coin conversion pack. So with this pack, I've been keeping track. So I've converted 8,000 trophies so far, and I've totaled 70,000 coins. So that's why we pushed us over 500,000 by doing this, and I feel like we can use those coins later. So we're just going to kind of go through these and see if we can get some good ones. Looking for like the 3,000, the 5,000 coins. That'd be the big ones. I've also been keeping track. So 5,000 is the most you can get, and I've only gotten that twice amongst the 80 packs I've gotten. So 2 out of 80 isn't good odds there. Yeah, I was the season 2 release. There's gonna be some good cards in there. Like I said, 80, 89s. No Miami guys were released for season 2 amongst the new cards. Notable one though that people were excited about was DJ Lagway. It's gonna be an 89, I think. And they're 1,500. They'll go to a blue theme. All these have been like the red cards here. I'll do a few more. I'm doing 10 at a time, and then we'll I do want to open up some packs too. 1,500. I don't think we've gotten the 3,000 or the 5,000 yet. There's a 3,000. That's good. Decent batch. A couple 1,500s in there. 500. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. So these 10 will get us 92.50. So that's not bad. That's been about average for us there. So that puts us at 79 250 for 9,000 redeemed. And yeah, I'll show you the squad here. Here's what we're looking at. 85 overall. We bumped that up last night when we did the stream. Picked up 2 key defensive players yesterday. So yeah, the big thing that we're trying to upgrade is really our second wide receiver. Anderson's kind of solid right now at 85. Vernon Davis has been good, but it's not ideal for a second receiver. And like I said, to Alex Perry, gonna throw that token on him, making him an 87. Kirk Francis has been good, solid quarterback, bumped him up to an 88. And yeah, Gronkowski's been great. Offensive line has been good. DJ Campbell was good. The Cole Best was big the other day on a stream, picking up. Chose him over Deshaun Jackson. I think that was a good move. But yeah, so yesterday's stream, we picked up the Braylon Shelby. That was just for the login, free card. Again, no money spent. So other than the pre-order that I got, the points, everything else has just been grinding out challenges and stuff. But yeah, picked up Shelby in 87, so speed rusher there. And then also we picked up Keenan as well, so an 85 defensive tackle. Defense is pretty solid around. Rabbit Evans has been fun so far, moving him around. But yeah, let's open up some packs here. Actually picked up 4 Twitch packs today. They did their normal, again, Tuesday through Friday, their daily ones, and then tonight for the release. But I want to knock out these, so if we can get some, this rare pack, 3 of them still left. Hoping for some good ones there. We'll probably just hold on to these ones. Yeah, let's go with we'll do the uncommon ones first, and then we'll get to the rare. Again, kind of number we're hoping for is some 85s. What do we get here? An 87 center, that's crazy. That's big time. Don't have to mess with that. When I picked up the best card the other day, picked up a second one, and he was going for about 30 to 40,000. I need to put him back on auction because he didn't get sold. Gerald McCoy, where do I have McCoy? We have McCoy as an 83. And then what else do we get? We get another good one here. Chris Harris. Again, we have him as a 85, I think. So we'll go Jones here for sure. And we'll do the McCoy. And then we're just gonna flip the McCoy since it's a B&D card. 93 training, not bad. Yeah, the training packs went up, but it guaranteed 5,100 right now. Guarantees you an 88 card, so we just cleared that, so we do have enough. Let me, while I was thinking about the center there, let's go ahead and...
Thanks for selling your car to Carvana. Here's your check.
Whoa, when did I get here?
What do you mean?
I swear it was just moments ago that I accepted a great offer from Carvana online.
Let's get that second one up on
Time travel
auction.
to the future.
It was just moments ago. We do same-day pickup. Here's your check.
And I'm going to
That's an
finish
offer.
this
is the
stream
future.
here since I got to
It's-
bottom out those
it's the
trophies, so I'm
present
just going to
and
be
just
here
the
until it's
convenience of
done.
Carvana. Sorry to blow your mind.
It's all good. Happens all the time.
What's it going
Sell
for?
your car
So it
the
just went for
convenient way
24, a
to
little lower than I was expecting.
Carvana.
Lowest right
Pickup
now is
times
at
may vary,
28,
fees
so
may
we'll go
apply.
under there, see if we can get,
What's your magic?
if we
For
can
some
squeeze
Walt Disney
27
World pass
here.
holders, magic
Let's
is
do
reliving
26 on
memories
the
with
buy
their
it now.
kids. For others, it's falling in love again and again at the wishing well. Start your own pass holder story at disneyworld.com/pass.
So that'd be a good coins there, and then we can go ahead and...
Cheer up, girl. Your dentist is here with a
What else do we
Crest
got?
Reality Checkup. Just try Crest 3D White Deep Stain Remover Toothpaste. It gives you whiter teeth in one day. Tap to buy now. Crest.
Cold plunges, gratitude
This one
journals,
was-
screen detoxes. How do you
Put
know
these
what
up on
actually
auction,
works?
see if we can get
With
anything.
a 4.9 rating from 1.7 million
Yeah,
client
that's crazy. It
reviews,
went for
you're in good
2,700.
hands
Now
with
it's already
BetterHelp,
down to
where you
1,000.
can talk with real
Not very
licensed
optimistic with
therapists,
this.
not AI. Wellness shouldn't be overwhelming, and therapists can help figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a screen detox. Visit betterhelp.com/Spotify Music for 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Spotify Music.
I was looking earlier, again, just kind of paying attention to Carson Beck's card. He's an 86 overall. It's going for right now. I saw 300,000 on the coins. And you know, you could essentially use them as a rental if you want, because it's a LTD card, and you could just sell it back for and get 250,000. So just kind of use them for 50,000. Let's open a Twitch pack here. That's not bad for the free Twitch. I mean, kind of high 70s is about all you can expect. Try to get some coins. Trying to get coins when we can, because most of our cards are BND at this point. do another round of these. Knock out 10. A 3,000, good start there. Here we go, hit the 5,000, that's good. So there, that's going to wrap up that batch of 10. Converting these coins over. Let's see what we got out of it. So we just did an auction. That was a center. So that's a quick flip. That's good. It's a nice little bank, almost over 600,000. This will put us over that. It's going to be a good mark to go into for season 2. So 10 for 11,000. That's a good chunk there. So yeah, we've now done 10,000 trophies. We've converted into 90,000 coins. What else do we? This was a good card for us at the beginning for a while. Tokens are we up to? On names of the game, they changed it to you need 31 tokens instead of 23. We're going to keep getting those through the challenges, but so 14 of the tokens there. Let's go ahead and open a few more packs. Let's do the uncommon and see if we can get something here. two. Again, hoping for 85s. Definitely could use a receiver. Cornelius Bennett, we have that one, and that's been a great card. He was actually playing right end for us, but now that's moving over. Christian Moore he'd become wide receiver too. They'd have him over Vernon Davis. So yeah, we'll take the 84s. .82 speed. Need him to be better than that.
Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home
we'll
is
just
like
hang on to
dating.
that. We'll
We're
mess with that
searching
later.
for the one. With over 500,000 new listings every month, you could find the one today. Download the
Welcome in
Realtor.com
everybody who's
app
been
cause
watching.
you're
Really
nearly
appreciate it. If you have any
home.
questions,
Make
want
it
to talk about
real
Canes
with
football practices, again, just update if you're just jumping on. No availability today, but tomorrow they're going to have a night practice, and we're going to get coordinators, scheduled to get coordinators,
Walt Disney World
and
theme
Mario
parks are the
Cristobal
place to celebrate
tomorrow
graduates here in Florida.
afternoon.
From
So
your
for a press
kindergarten's
conference, so
oversized
that'll
cap
be
and
good.
gown to your cousin's sixth and
Kind of
final
a
year of undergrad. You did it,
mid-fall
Brian. You
update there
finally
with
did
the
it. For a special
coordinators
ticket
who
offer
haven't
just for
spoken
Florida residents, visit
since media day.
disneyworld.com/resident.
Summer's here, and you
So
can
that's
now
good.
get
We're going to
almost
get a new
anything you
right
need for your
tackle
sunny
there.
days delivered with Uber Eats.
That's a big,
What do we mean
nice
by
little get
almost?
right there.
When you
Kind of
can't get a well-groomed
any way to
lawn
get the
delivered,
offensive
but you
line
can get a chicken
boosted
parmesan
up without
delivered.
having
A
to
cabana?
put
That's a no.
stuff
But a
into
banana?
it.
That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box
Yeah, we'll
fan?
take the
Happily
highest guy.
yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product
we already have
availability may
one.
vary by region. See app for details.
Need to go get rid of him real quick. I don't know how close we are to an 86 overall. I feel like we still have a ways to go. Oh, we need to do it this way. So we had just the base card of him. He's in the lineup. So did the update there. So we're still on 85. And then the other one. Yeah. All right, we'll do the last uncommon one. We still have the 3 rare packs, which should be better than the ones we're getting out of here. And then we'll flip it back to some coins. Actually, we can do yeah, we'll do that. An 82 Vernon. Again, we have an 84. An 85 fullback there. I had the base card of Max here. He was a 64 for a while. So we'll do that. It could be tight end 3. We'll go ahead and just get rid of them. Auction sell. There we go. Picking up more coins. I wish they would say when you sell a guy who it is. All right, we still have it 4 we still have a bunch of batches to do here. Another batch of 10. We're looking for the 5,000 here. There's a 3,000. So yeah, I bought some of those packs earlier and they were just kind of okay. It didn't feel like it was worth the 1,600 trophies. So I just didn't want to risk it. So that's why I'm doing the coin conversion instead. All right, 1,500. That's solid. We'll take it. Let's go. So this batch, 7,500. So we've gotten, let's do another batch. We're sitting at 11,000 trophies for a little over 97,000 coins there. It's too bad you couldn't purchase them 10 at a time or all of them at a time. But we gotta slowly grind. It was a grind to get all these trophies. Now it's a grind to convert them all. I'm gonna do some solo challenges after this, actually. Take a break from this. Get into some gameplay a little bit. Or we can open up a couple Twitch packs as well.
Buying a car in Carvana was so easy. I was able to finance it.
All right,
through them.
one more out of this
You mean
batch.
Finance? Yeah, finance. Got pre-qualified for a Carvana auto loan, entered my terms, and shot from thousands of great car options, all within my budget.
That's cool that financing through Carvana was so easy.
Financed. Done. And I get to pick up my car from their Carvana vending machine tomorrow.
5,000, good way to end it.
Right, that's what I
This
said.
batch
You
of
can
10
spend time
here.
trying to pronounce financing, or you can actually finance and buy your car today on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Drew and Sue and M&M's Minis. And baking the surprise birthday cake for Lou. and Sue forgetting that her oven doesn't
That's good.
really
We got a
work.
5 and a 3 in
And
there.
Drew remembering that they
So
don't
11,
have
15.
flour. And Lou getting home early from work, which he never does. And Drew and Sue using the rest of the tubes of M&M's minis as party poppers instead.
I think this is one of those moments where people say, it's the thought that counts.
M&M's, it's more fun together.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box
See how we've
fan?
converted
Yes.
12,000
A day of
trophies
sunshine?
to
No. A box of fine
109,000.
wines? Yes. Uber Eats can
Coins,
definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
So Fletcher, the lowest one is 31. Saw him at 27 earlier. Certainly at this point, looks like we should have snagged him there. At 27 if we were going to grab him. There's one bet card out there for 300,000. We definitely have the currency for it. Overall rating would take a hit at quarterback, but I've been hoping to get this Hayden Low card. Sitting at 46. So we need a sack and don't allow first one. That was a nice play, but let's not. We didn't get the sack there. What's going on there, babe? Hopefully you had a good day today. This one is a little frustrating. I gotta figure out a way to get a sack here. We cannot get a sack here. Gotta max it out though. Alright, let's try to stay back in coverage.
We all know that feeling. You finally managed to get away on vacation, and the worry
Man, it was a cool
starts.
play, but
Will that
we're not
bogus
getting the
beware
challenge
of the
done
dog
at
sign
all.
keep your home safe? What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide-a-key rock? All that stuff is safe-ish. But ADT provides security solutions that help keep you actually safe, giving you real peace of mind. Because vacation is supposed to be, you know, relaxing. Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more.
Let's switch over. I want to look at the mainstays ones that just came out.
Alien Earth, all new.
specimens from other
Adding more
worlds.
coins here. It's kind of been the theme of the night.
Predatory.
From creator Noah Hawley and executive producer Ridley Scott.
We don't lock them down, it will be too late.
What did you do?
FX's Alien Earth, all new Tuesdays on FX and Hulu.
Introducing the perfect playlist to remix your morning routine.
So I sold
AG1's
another
clinically
card.
backed
That's good.
formula is
Just
now
kind of
flavor packed
continuing
with
to
3 new
stack
delicious
here.
flavors:
All right, what do
tropical,
the main
berry,
state
and
challenges look
citrus.
like?
Start the day on a high note with probiotics that taste like the tropics. Mix it up with micronutrients that taste like berry or citrus. And take it all the way back with the classic
Throw a touch pass,
AG1
no
Original with
incompletions,
notes
get
of
a field
pineapple
goal.
and vanilla. Do your health a flavor, or 4, with AG1 Next Gen, the daily health drink. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
JD, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, I did. I thought about it, and I streamed yesterday, and I had the answer for you. But I got to go out. Just a fairly recent guy, Al Blades Jr. Really outgoing personality, quite a character. Teammates always spoke really highly of him. So yeah. How's your day been? Hopefully it's been good today for you. Yeah, good lineage for sure. Oh my god. I don't know what happened on that throw. Yeah. Heard the stories with Al. He was at UM before I started covering the team, but yeah, certainly the stories about him as well. All right, so we might as well, this isn't no incomplete pass, we might as well just run it here. JD, I was saying earlier, if you weren't on, this is a terrible, I don't know what's going on with the speed option, but it makes it really, really difficult. You'll see the back needs to be on the left, on the other side. Yeah, so you can't run option very well with the running back on the wrong side. It's been happening quite a bit. And that's not the formation. I don't know why it's been doing that. I was saying earlier, so no access today for practices or interviews, but tomorrow the team's gonna have a night practice, and then before that in the afternoon we're scheduled to get the coordinators. Both coordinators will speak, and then Cristobal as well. So that'll be good. Plenty of content will be on the channel, but also on the website as well. Kind of a mid-fall update, especially with the coordinators. Oh, I forgot. I need to get a field goal. I about scored a touchdown there and ruined the whole challenge. Yeah, the coordinators haven't spoke since media day, so it'll be good to get updates. Oh, this is terrible. I'm not doing this. We're going to go to the middle of the field. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they have to say about how things are kind of going with the progress. With offense, kind of all talk on, just kind of real curious about what Dawson thinks of the receivers and how they've been doing out there. That's kind of the big talk of fall camp with the offense, in my mind. And then defensively with Heatherman, I'm curious about the linebackers, and he's been working with, that's who he works with. That's who he works with each day. Just curious what he thinks of them now, maybe compared to spring ball and the progress they've made. JD, yeah. So especially when I was, the 2000 seems, 2003 was my first year. So, and when especially early on, what do I got to do here? 20 yards in 2 plays. That's what's hard about these challenges. You got to keep track. I wish it would show it. So 20 yards in 2 plays, don't get sacked. Especially when early on, when I first started doing this, I was asking a lot of questions about a lot of players and trying to find out more about what it was like to answer your question, to find out the personalities, the team. What was that 01 team, for example? What was that one like? Ken Dorsey, I was fascinated, just curious about what kind of made him as good as he was. The competition, all the stuff you kind of hear about, but I liked hearing about that. Clinton Portis was a guy that I'd interviewed since then, and that's happened over the year. I've interviewed these guys, but I didn't cover him when he was here. But if you haven't heard the story, Portis, each week during the season, I needed 20 yards. I don't know if I got it. Oh yeah, I did. So we still need a little bit more yards. Each week he would tell the reporters how many rushing yards he was going to rush for each game, and the reporters obviously got a kick out of that. Just a huge personality. And you can imagine, and sometimes when we talk about like, oh, what it's like today, but you know, there was still plenty of media back then. It was a big deal with players saying that kind of stuff. Vernon there, a little slow. That's why we need a better upgrade at wide receiver too. There, Vernon Davis right there has been handling that job, but you can see we need more speed. It worked out there, but yeah. So the stories like that with Clinton were great. I remember too. It's been told. I remember asking Clinton about this before, or fairly recently, in the last few years. Just the story of him, you know, when he was being recruited. You know, tossing a VHS tape to Don Solinger when he came in, because the talk was Clinton couldn't play running back. A lot of teams wanted him at DB. 2 passes in 3 plays. Don't throw a pick. All right, score a touchdown. And just kind of that attitude, and feet kicked up on the table kind of a thing was the story. You can imagine a recruit just kind of having that confidence. That's a story. I mean, some kind of crazy play a player did on the practice team. Yeah, not so much of that kind of stuff. You know, this is where things kind of changed. I always felt like, just in general, for a lot of the times when they had these really good teams at Miami, that the freshmen were essentially, if they didn't play, it's because there were guys ahead of them. But as soon as it was their time to step in and be a player, whether they were a sophomore, junior, whatever year it was, when it was their time, they always were ready. And that was kind of how it always worked at UM for a long time. They essentially weren't playing, not because they weren't talented. That 01 team was like that. We need one more completion. You know, Antrell and Sean and Kellen weren't playing big roles on the team. But when it was their time, they were great, obviously. So we just got to get a touchdown and don't get sacked. Don't throw an interception. This is Dawson's money year because he had a big up and down year with TVD. Oh, with TVD. Did great with Ward. Yeah. We'll see how he does with Beck. Yeah. Sure. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I'm really, you know, I'm really curious to see what the running game looks like this year. I think that's where they want to, you know, they got a good quarterback in back, but I think they want to kind of have these, I think they want to kind of have these really productive run games. It's going to be interesting too. I think teams are going to force Miami to throw the ball downfield. We got to get in there. sure Devin Hester did something crazy on the practice field. Devin was fun. So I covered all of his time here at Miami. And actually during that time, had a really good connection with Devin. It was great, kind of seeing him go through it. Yeah, and the whole thing was corner, or it was essentially as soon as he got to where was he going to play? Corner, receiver. Yeah, he was just always Devin was just kind of always a guy. The talent was there. The Riviera Beach stuff he did. Everyone knew he was a big time talent, and his enrollment was delayed at Miami, so there was this huge waiting period for Devin. So it just kind of built up the mystique of what he could be and what he was going to do for Miami. I always felt like with Coker, there were some key things with him, with Coker, and I felt like, if they could have figured out an elevated role for Devin, other than his last game against LSU in the Peach Bowl, when they put him at running back, I think if they could have found a better role for him, consistent role, I think that would have definitely helped. The offense was really struggling during that time. Yeah, it sounds like Clint. Yeah, it was Clint. Just kind of over the years, I've enjoyed talking with him. I remember just a random story. Hold on. 2 tackles in 4 plays. This is not a big deal. We should be able to get all 5 here. I remember years ago Clinton was doing an autograph session at Best Buy to promote, I think it was ESPN on the Xbox 360, something like that. And I sat down with him while he was doing interviews to do an he was doing autographs and I was interviewing him during the process. But I remember
From extreme
just
heat
enjoying
to hurricanes and flooding,
kind of sitting with him
Miami-Dade
and talking
County
with him.
is
He
here
was
to
good with
help
the
you
fans.
stay safe. Plan
good seeing
ahead with
them.
our official severe weather and emergency readiness guide.
Come to see it and
has
stuff,
everything
but-
you need to know to be prepared. Readiness is key.
But yeah, that
more
story of
important than
him
ever. In addition to hurricanes,
telling
we must
reporters,
be
and he
ready
would
for
say it,
any weather
like,
hazards that
150
come our way,
yards and
whether
2
extreme
touchdowns,
heat,
kind of a thing,
flooding, or
180,
storm surge.
whatever it
Are you
was
ready?
this
Visit
week. That's what he said he would.
miamidade.gov/weather-ready for more
That's what he would do.
Hi, I'm Kristen Bell, and if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping
And
for a
that
car.
stuff's kind of
Selling a
that's
car? Not so much.
We're really doing this,
to me. I think stuff like that is
Answer a few questions, put in your VIN
really
or
why
license, and
a
done.
lot of people
We
are
sold
fans
ours
of
in
Miami.
minutes this
That
morning, and they'll
personalities,
come pick it
the
up and
unique,
pay us this afternoon.
strong personalities.
Bye-bye, Truckee.
That have.
Of course.
Look at this
The favorite.
font.
Hello, other
I think that's
Truckee.
what people
Sell your
have been
car
really
with
drawn
Carvana
to with the
today.
program, the
Terms and
personalities
conditions
of the
apply.
players, the uniqueness. Not every school has
We're all
had a lot of
mastering
personalities,
something.
in addition to being great players, for
And
sure.
with each new milestone, we build confidence and security. The Master Lock
These
Magnum
defensive challenges are
padlock
pretty easy.
provides maximum protection, putting you in control of whatever lies ahead.
It's funny his son plays corner.
Because there are some responsibilities
Yeah,
never
a
clock
little
enough.
bit. I mean, this is
So if
flipping
it
gears. I
means
remember
something,
Duke Johnson when he was in the NFL
Master Lock.
playing running back. I remember him telling me that just kind of made a joke or a light comment or whatever, however you want to take it, but kind of wishes he played corner in terms of like the money and that kind of a thing. And that's when he was getting paid too, during his contract with the Browns. But and I think there's only some truth to that. I mean, that if you can play running back, I don't know many people that would pass that up. But yeah, I had a chance to watch his son there, Portis, in January at the battle event. How does this O-line stack up with all the O-lines in Miami history? Yeah, that's an interesting question because Miami, I think when you talk about every other position, a lot of other position groups, you point towards the quality of the unit, essentially with how they were drafted. That's kind of how we evaluate it. How they were drafted, what does their NFL career look like, those kinds of things. And I think with the offensive line is a little bit different because throughout their history, they don't have like a lot of lines that have all these crazy high draft picks on their line. So I think makes it harder to judge, and obviously it's much harder to judge and put in judge an offensive line and their success. It's not like the other positions where stats and counting numbers play a huge role in their success. But JD, I think like the hype of it right now is high. You know, when you have a guy like Maui Noah, who people think like a good year, that's going to be a quick challenge. I'm going to talk to him. But I think having that headliner helps. The reputation helps with Cristobal. Everyone understands. So if they put it together, if Beck has a good passing season, doesn't get sacked a lot, and then if they're able to run the ball, I think those will be the thing. I think that they certainly can be in the conversation if they have a highly productive offensive season. Everyone has high respect for Inez Cooper as a player. The one guy that I'm really curious about, that I necessarily wasn't as high on, just maybe even on offense in general, but I'm really curious. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. I'm really curious about Matt McCoy at left guard. I think Matt has a chance. I know he played a lot last year, but he didn't have the high offensive grade according to PFF. But I think he's a guy that could have a good year, and I think that would really help to your question. Like, if he has one, if you're expecting the right side to be good, and McCoy steps up, Markel can handle left tackle full time at his size. I think certainly, and you're expecting a solid year at center, you know, with Brockemeyer. So we need a first down and 2 plays, don't get sacked, and lead by 3 points this drive. So we just got to get a field goal. We need a first down. Might as well try it right here. Don't take a sack. Looking for Anderson over the middle. We'll take Gronk. Oh, we need a first down though. But yeah, we'll look for Anderson. That's not going to work. I should have kept running to the sideline or changed the route. I can't have... Wait, hold on. Oh, first down in 2 plays. Oh, we're good then. But reputation matters with all that. But certainly, again, I think if they produce... both throwing and passing, or throwing and running, I think that's going to help out. You know, the offensive line play, but and winning. Obviously, anytime we talk about accolades with, or where units rank, where players rank, where, you know, you got to win. Yeah, this is not the play I called. Watch this. See, I don't know why this option route there made it work. But yeah, certainly in recent years, you know, there was the offensive line, you know, kind of in my mind, that one with Sean Trell and Brandon Linder. Jared Wheeler was on that group. He wasn't one of their headline guys. But also Feliciano. And there was another one. That's kind of the NFL talent, you know, from a talent perspective, we're in. I think that was a good offensive line. That was a really good offense that they had there with Golden. Nearly every starter from that team, regular starter, played in the NFL on offense. got some other good questions here. Appreciate you, JD. I do. I'm glad you're here. Just kind of jumping on the stream. I've been kind of running at 10:30, and then today it was more like 11:15. I wasn't able to get on. So, have you heard about the legends of Bo Jackson? He was at Auburn. His talent. Bo Jackson was my favorite athlete of all time. That's who I grew up a big fan of. Yes, the other day, my favorite team growing up. So I was a big Royals fan. Bo Jackson was right there. And, so yeah, I've heard a lot of the stories, read the books, and it's been fun as being older and kind of going back and finding out even more than what I knew as a kid about him. Had a chance to interview him. That's one of my favorite memories of being a reporter. All right, this is what's 30-yard pass for 30 yards and 3 plays, complete 3 passes. yards and 3 plays. One of these challenges was you were from the 30 and you had to get 3 first downs. So I literally had to run and then fall at the 20 and then fall at the 10 and then score on the 3rd play. But I like the grind of the challenges, the uniqueness of it. What am I doing here? 30 yards and 3 plays. And we got to get at least 3 completions. All right, so we need at least a 7-yard play here. Yeah, I mean, Clint was confident in the O-line. I mean, that was a quality O-line. What are we doing? Timeout? I wouldn't, JD, I don't think McKinney would be a Hall of Famer, no. I think a college football Hall of Famer, if I remember. That seems... And he would be a UM Hall of Famer. We need 7 yards out of this. Oh, he's sitting waiting for me. Got 9. So now we just need to score a touchdown. Heard CC played injured last year with both shoulders. He said he's healthy now. I hadn't heard that about. I know that. 3rd and 1 here. McCoy talked about that. McCoy was hurt last year. And he had been someone that before the season and then soon after the year, it was his right shoulder. After the season was over, he had surgery. It was interesting. I thought this was a good question. The question was just asked about that. Do you feel better? Essentially, do you think you'll be a better player now? It's kind of an easy question to ask in terms of expecting what the player would say. You would assume he would say, well, yeah, I'm healthy now. But Matt actually said that he didn't want to say, he didn't agree to that or say that. I thought that was interesting. But essentially, he just really felt like it really didn't bother him that much last year. He learned to play with it. But I think it's kind of an obvious thing. If you're healthy, you're going to feel like you can do more things and not be limited. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing. We gotta run the ball here.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Celebration run. Okay.
AT&T Fiber limited availability in select areas requires AT&T extended Wi-Fi coverage service for additional monthly charge.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or
Oh, when we did our, I was wondering why.
With your friends with
Yeah, they
Michelob
made.
on the line. Competition
I
isn't
took out
that friendly.
Barbers are starting
The trash talk, next level.
when I
And
did the
stakes,
latest generate
those are
lineup.
crystal clear.
This is the last challenge. I'm gonna go back to
Superior smooth taste. It's the ultimate trophy.
getting that other stuff.
Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra.
We have
Superior
a couple
light
packs.
beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025.
Her Bane has been trying to figure out ways to get around Markel. Yeah.
Hey, this is Indy, and my new
He said
e-painting,
that.
Famous Bedroom
Just
is out now.
Bane has said just really
I
recognizes
loved making it, and I hope that you love listening
Markel's
to it.
length.
Listen on Spotify.
Can we get through? There we go. Oh, we gotta celebrate. Oh. Did we get it? Yeah, there we go. Celebration. We didn't have to score, so that was good. Yeah, Markel, I mean, you said he's a big guy. Yeah, he is. I was just when you're out there, it's just pretty obvious. His size. Really good guy too, you know. Enjoy talking with him and about his journey. We got a bunch of stuff here. So here we go. Auction, some more coins. I want to look at the auction here. JD, there's a new, I don't know if you saw earlier, but they released a new card today, a Miami card. I want to show it to you. And right now there's 50 potential Miami guys in the catalog. And these are the ones here that you could possibly have. And the new one is the Mark Fletcher Mainstays card. I think it looks sharp. He's an 84 overall, 83 speed. Trucking 84, it's pretty good. And right now, I saw him at 27,000 coins, and I passed on him. So yeah, lowest run right now is 31 that we could add to the team. I want to flip the backs real quick. Then also. Yeah, so there's a back card at 320. Hardy's been our punt returner. I don't know if you're at the Florida game last year. I was at the Florida game last year. But when you saw they played, what did you think? JD, I was a little bit, honestly, hesitant, I guess, with Miami going into the season. Into that game, playing at Florida, not knowing exactly what to expect from Cam. Saw him in the spring, saw him in the fall. Obviously, UM was saying high things about him. But when you watch the game, and this is essentially what assigned the rest of the season, he was in such control of the game. Looked like would eventually happen, the number one player in the draft, but just looked older, more mature. It looked like he was ready for everything. The team played really well. They played off of the offense. I thought the defense did a good job. They surprised me, question marks on some of the things defensively. There were some good defensive moments. And Miami just really dominated, obviously, and didn't make it much of a game. I think that was a big surprise how they pulled ahead. The crowd was silent, expecting big crowds in any type of good environment, but especially for an opener. 0-0, teams are ready to get going. You got everybody waits, essentially 9 months for the first game, and I was surprised, but then after that, I just felt like, you could see a lot of the positive. You could see it all coming together. The wide receivers, I thought they looked great. and you could see how a lot of the piece of Elijah Arroyo, you know, it was disappointing to see the offensive lineman go down at that time. But they were fine. They were able to get Rivers back, and it wasn't a huge issue. With that, there were, you know, Rodriguez didn't play much at all the rest of the year. Damari Brown came back late, so they definitely had their injuries in that opener that were tough to deal with. Or for those individuals, they were able to overcome it, clearly. Yeah, you can motion the running back to the other side. Yeah, it's just it shouldn't. All I'm doing though is sometimes I'm just picking the play out of the gate, and then they're just lining up in the wrong spots. And then if I flip a play, it doesn't go there. 5,000, that's good. So I'm gonna do another batch of 10 coin conversion packs. Doing this again because the trophies are gonna run out tonight essentially, because tomorrow season 2 and the 3,000, this is big time here. Those are the top 2 to get. Bo Jackson snapping the bat over his helmet, I think, when he struck out. Another 3,000. This is our best, the most I've done. So I do 10 at a time. I've been keeping track. So 13,000 is the most out of a 10 pack grouping that I've been doing. But this one will clear that. Yeah, Bo did it over his thigh. That was a big thing too. I remember when he would do that. There was a lot of things he did that was unique at the time, during the time, and then just after. We just haven't seen something like that. So that's a batch of 10, but I was just thinking that I actually not going to be able to. We got some other coin packs. Yeah, so we have 11. We'll just count one of these 500 as, let's just do it like this. Oh, that's 12 and 13. Yeah, we got 3 extra packs from that I didn't open, or I opened but didn't sell them yet. So we're not going to have the exact total, but we are sitting at 12,000 trophies for 109,000 coins. And so these kind of get grouped in that, but yeah, we're stacking the chips there. McKinney is a college football Hall of Famer. Yeah, there you go. Won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Yep. I think JD, I don't think McKinney had a bunch of Pro Bowl appearances, which I think would, when you ask me if he was a Hall of Famer, that I think that's the thing that kind of holds him back a little bit. Up too, but can't believe Beck took Dorsey's number. He has to win some games. I think Dorsey was 36-2. Yeah, the 11. It's certainly interesting, but I'm big on that. I was thinking the same thing. I also don't like that they are allowing players to wear formerly retired numbers like the 10 and the 42. They brought those back out of circulation, so I don't like seeing that. Didn't like it last year. It's just my own personal opinion, but they're doing what they decided to bring them out. I also think it's odd that the players would want to do that, but you know, it feels like you'd want to make your own legacy with your own number. And yeah, Cam looked like he didn't have a worry in the world. Yeah, JD, you know, the other thing too, and I said it that game and then kind of said it throughout the season, he had a moment, I think it was in the first half, but even when Cam, this again, throughout the whole year, it was like this. Even when Cam would have maybe a drive that didn't work out or a bad throw or whatever, it didn't turn into like a 1 for 8 stretch or 1 for 7 or 3 empty drives. It kind of was such an isolated thing. Like, oh, this drive didn't work out, but then the next drive would. It just felt like that. Or, oh, that was a bad throw, but then, you know, he'd go, 5 for 7 of the next group. You know, he didn't have these really bad stretches in game. Not even game to game, just in game. It didn't feel like he had just multiple bad drives or a bad quarter. I had a stat, and I don't know how long this lasted, but they were scoring points in every quarter for a long portion of the season. And I don't remember when that streak broke, but that just means they're consistently scoring points every quarter. And typically that doesn't happen, even with good teams. You for whatever reason, just have a bad quarter, a couple bad drives, a turnover, it just happens. And with Cam, it simply put, he just didn't have those stretches at all. And I think that was really impressive. Again, good players can have that, good quarterbacks, but he just didn't have even small stretches very often at all. Big shoes to fill, same with 26. Yeah, it is interesting. Again, I touched on 10 and 42, which were actually retired and nobody wore them for a long time. But there's something odd that they do with the number 1 jersey or the 26. So it's like right now they're choosing that numbers do matter, but it's not the ones that have been retired by the university. So it's just kind of an odd thing. But yeah, the 26 was kind of odd too. They didn't let players wear it, and now Amari does have it, but and then the number 1, you understand that you get it. I was kind of joking that with JoJo, you know, the expectation is he's going to move to number 1. He's just been having a jersey with a blank jersey, a blank practice jersey when we've been out there. So essentially, I haven't asked Mario about this, but essentially he's got to earn the 1, basically. But I find it interesting, and I was kind of asking, like, what happens if he doesn't? Because his number 0 from last year has been taken. So is there another number he would wear? Or
it doesn't matter
he is going to be 1. Yeah, is he going to be rolling out there with 84 because he didn't have a good fall?
You compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line. Competition isn't that friendly.
But yeah,
trash talk,
and then Torrey was the other one. Muhammad Torrey is expected to wear number 1, but he also had a blank.
With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing.
I think with CC last year, he wasn't lifting weights going into the season. Something about his arms would give out, so he had a good offseason.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of
We've been thinking about where you're going to ask Dawson and Heatherman.
Theft.
Yeah, definitely with Dawson and Heatherman. And that's the thing. As soon as we get word, and again, usually it's the night before.
Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance.
But yeah, with Dawson, obviously big talk with the receivers.
We're so confident restoration is guaranteed.
How those guys are doing, the progress. You know, how does he feel with them? I think all those kinds of things, and I think other people ask those too. Sometimes I feel like I don't have to be the one to ask it, as long as the question is asked. That's kind of how I approach asking questions. But if there's something specific, I'll ask, and I'll keep thinking of it. It's not going to be till tomorrow afternoon. But the progress there, I think, is good. I think the stuff with Carson, a lot of it, even saying, you know, he's had a good fall camp and that kind of thing, you'll hear that. I think a lot with Carson is just going to be, what's it going to be like during games? I think that is a lot of the ways with quarterbacks in general. Same way with Cam last year. I mean, Dawson has said they didn't know what they had in camp. the way he was going to play, because you can't tackle a quarterback. So he didn't know he was going to do those creative things. They didn't know what to expect with Cam in that sense until the game started, until that Florida game. So I think the same thing with Carson. He can throw a good ball, these kinds of things, make good reads in practices, but Carson will be judged how he does in games and how the team, if the team wins enough games. With Heatherman, there's different ways to go, and still learning, how Heatherman answers questions and topics. Hold on, I want to look at something. Heatherman talks a lot about we want to get the best guys on the field. Special team yardage. But he definitely wants to have his rotation of guys. Finding out if we can get a read on how he feels about his guys, his group of guys, if he feels really good. Like the cornerbacks, I know a lot of fans, they brought in a lot of new guys. What does he think of this group? They're all going to be new to him. But how he feels with it. I said it earlier, I feel like linebackers. I'm curious about that. Maybe that would be something I'll ask him, because that's who he works with in practices every day. With the linebackers, curious about the progress he feels like they've made since the spring. Because to me, that's a question mark for this defense, for the team. So we need a lob pass. This one's hard. So we need 3 jukes and 2 plays. So we need a lob pass and get some jukes. If we can get Gronk, if I can get him, the defense looks good. Get him going upfield there. Yeah, we're going to do that. Anderson was running the route. There's Gronk on this one. But yeah, I'm curious about the linebackers, and also his thoughts on Torrey, and just maybe what he sees from him now as a player, how he feels like he's developed. That count as a juke? Yeah, I did like a little juke at the end. It wasn't effective, but I did it. And I got that lob pass. All right, so now we need, let's go option run. And get 2 jukes to the outside. See, here's that option play. The running back lines up where he's supposed to. I can get 2 jukes here. There's 1. There's 2. There we go. Yeah, I like Tiki. He's holding the ball out. That's his style. So it's been fun running around with him. The ball. It looks like almost like old NFL blitz style, or even the old Maddens with the yard. They'd kind of do stuff like that. I want to make sure I didn't pick one we've already done. No, we picked up. Oh, that's why. So it's Act 5, Round 4. That's what we just did. Now we're Act 5, Round 5. 2 rushes, 16 yards and 3 play, and a rushing touchdown. I always want to know how the coordinators are evolving as football evolves. For example, new plays, motion ideas, sort of how the Lions are revolution over their hook and ladder plays. Yeah, NFL is a whole different ball game when it comes to creativity and the way offenses really attack defenses and weaknesses. There's just so much. There's just so much more to it with the way the NFL. Oh, I forgot we're running the ball. So we need 16 yards and 3 plays. Hold on. I know it's kind of cheaty, but I gotta. Yeah, this is why I looked and why I paused. I could score a touchdown here, but I have to get the max level, so I need 2 rushes. So I need to not score on this play. There we go. Because it wouldn't count if I didn't get the two rushing attempts. But JD, you're right, man. Like I think the football evolving, I think it has to be. I think one of the things, and this is where Heatherman would tell you, like he feels like he's evolved. He's just the different stops that coaches go to in college. They have different personnel at the different stops they're at as they go up the coaching ladder in different levels. So I think that they're constantly coming up with ideas to try to maximize their team and come up with different things. So break and tackle, that's not going to be easy. And Heatherman, with starting out in small college, I think he would probably tell you, or he would probably feel like he's evolved and had to evolve as a coach and creativity along with the game kind of changing. But I'm saying like it seems like it just be almost natural for them that they have to constantly evolve. But it is fascinating. And defenses too. You know, you have to figure out what offense are wanting to do. So we need to break a tackle. Let's see if we can get this guy. Does that count? I bumped into him. It did count. That's crazy. I was just kidding, but it did work. I can only imagine being reported for Alabama 07-20. I don't remember what the challenges were, but we wanted to score. What was I supposed to do? Oh, I had to do 3 carries. See, I guess it only made sense because I got that cheap break tackle. I thought the final one was just score a touchdown. Yeah, the break tackle is not going to be easy. I tried to just power through that one. I'm going to try a stiff arm and see if that might be better on the safety. Rush 3 times. You know what? We can break tackles without running. Because I don't want to waste. I have to do one more run and get 2 yards. So let's try to get break tackle with this would be a good one to do it with. So yeah, basically just kind of use that last rushing attempt and get 2 yards on the run. But for here, I got to get a break tackle. Again, looking for Gronk. Blitz on the GameCube. Yeah, huge fan of the GameCube. Appreciate the shout out for the GameCube. I was never good at Blitz. Like, it was fun to play. That's not counting as a break tackle either. I was trying to get a stiff arm there at the end. Where are we at? We're at that 6, so I still need 2 yards to run. So I need to give myself 2 yards. It's sad how good TVD looked on his last game with you. Yeah, Van Dyke definitely had really positive moments at Miami in that stretch when he took over as a starter. Okay, we need to get away from the 2. There, that counts as a break tackle. Ooh, so stiff arm's not going to work. I thought I had it too. So I'm at the 4. I can only gain 2 yards. It's 3rd down. Gronk, what are we doing? Well, actually, we'll try. We got one play. We'll do it on the run. Let's see if we can. We need a break tackle, 2 yards. I'm gonna try to plow through him. Does that count? I did hit him and knocked off of him. That first tackler, I might have gotten it.
Sometimes you need a little help keeping your home running smoothly. That's where the Home Depot Home Services comes in. Our local, licensed, and insured experts can handle all your home maintenance needs. And you can rest easy knowing that all work is backed by the Home Depot. For license information, visit homedepot.com/license numbers.
Coach under flat, yeah.
From lunchboxes and break rooms to porch swings and movie nights, there's never a
3
bad
carries,
time to
1
share
break
Lay's
tackle.
classic potato chips. Made with real potatoes, oil, and
No,
salt.
we got to replay it,
That
but yeah, you have to do
signature
exactly
light
what it says.
texture
So,
and crispy crunch tastes better
so the
together.
first one is
Best
rush
shared
3
with
times,
friends,
meaning
family, or your favorite
you do that
coworkers.
and the whole
Whatever
thing is
makes
over.
you happy.
I always want to
Lay's,
max
what
out and
joy
get
tastes
5
like.
stars,
Tap the
so
banner
I
to
get the
buy now
bonuses.
and spread the
And so
joy
essentially, I have to
with
work
Lay's.
backwards to get the bonuses before the 3 and this one the 3 rushes, because it ends it. So if I just do 3 carries, it's over. So that's why, but I have to make sure I get the 18 yards. So I try to do the 18 yards first, and then on this one, break tackle.
Looked solid.
But yeah, rush 3 times.
Live like a gigillionaire with
As soon as you rush it, even if you don't score a touchdown, it's just over. The challenge is over. So it's a very easy challenge to complete the round and move on, but I'm trying to get the max level, the 5 stars. And this break tackle, I messed up on that first one when I had the break tackle and then ran it down on the big play. If I'd have just paid attention to what we were supposed to be doing. Okay, that won't count. I was trying to hit that guy on the ground, kick him while he's down. So I got the 18 yards. So that's good at least. So I don't have to try to, for my 3rd rush attempt, it doesn't matter how many yards I get. But now we got to do that. Kind of the same thing philosophy as before. Try to get the break tackles on a pass attempt. Again, looking for Gronk. And Gronk it's a good route, but also with his size. Did I get it? Yeah, there we go. Break tackle. Cool. So now we just have to run it. Anything will do. I think you can carry him. Okay. Yeah, truck stick and hold it. Yeah. Part of it is too is the back. Yeah, we're just getting through. JD, are there things that you're thinking of with the coordinators that you'd like to kind of hear about or get an update on, or maybe even a player in particular? That's cool. We maxed out the alumni challenge. Cool. We got all those done. I want to go back through. We gotta knock out these packs. We have 17 more, so we'll do a pack of 10 and a pack of 7 and see how it ends up. Again, we're over 109. Probably because I told you we did 13, a couple mixed in. We're probably at like 120,000 total. So we'll do a batch of 10 here. I don't know what I want to know. I don't think the coordinators would answer. I know. What I want to know, I don't think the coordinators would answer. I feel that's in some ways too, a lot of the times. Yeah, that's what makes it asking questions either a challenge or frustrating, or just kind of is what it is. You try to ask good questions, but it really is. What I've learned, sometimes you can ask good questions and you know they don't answer them. So, and they don't have to. They don't have to answer. They can answer anything they want to do. NBF, what's going on? Welcome. I appreciate it. Just kind of hanging out here and knocking out these last challenges before season 1 ends. Tomorrow, season 2 goes live. Appreciate you jumping in here. Just hanging out. JD's been in here. There we go, 3,000, that's big. Malachi Tony and Bryce Fitzgerald, and how does the DB room look compared to last year? Yeah, the DB room, obviously Heatherman wasn't there, but I'm curious what just his overall impressions are of what he thinks of these guys. For example, there we go, another one. I think everyone assumes is definitely an upgrade in the secondary, particularly at cornerback, than what they had last year. But what does it mean in terms of actually, how productive can they really be? And I think Heatherman would be able to provide some context on his thoughts on what he thinks of the group. If it's a group he feels like that can be really productive. But we got 3 of these 3,000s. There we go. This is a good batch here. Let's keep this rolling. Again, just having to do this because these trophies do not carry over. They would convert, EA would convert them, and you would get coins. But the consensus is you're not going to get upwards of 500 or 1,500, 3,000, 5,000. You're not going to get the variety. Nobody knows what the actual conversion will be. But kind of to be safe, everybody's this has been a common philosophy with the trophies. All right, we'll go ahead and flip these over. See what this batch got us here. So 11,750. Let's go ahead and knock this out. so we can be done with the trophies here. But I do think, you know, MBF just with Malachi and Bryce, particularly with Malachi, I think he's going to have a chance to have a role this year for sure. Not just as a receiver, but I think he could be a guy that potentially be a punt returner, depending if he can kind of earn the trust. And when you get an opportunity, you know, you've got to be really trustworthy at that spot. But I'm really curious, you know, Malachi, yeah, good fall camp. We saw in the spring, making noise, this kind of things. But to me, I think there's going to be a difference of like, okay, I think he can have a good freshman year, but will he have a good, you know, will he be in there against Notre Dame? Will he make plays, be ready to go game one as a true freshman, earn the trust and make plays? I think that's I think those are two different things. And I don't think that, you know, if he doesn't play much or earn that role in the first game, I don't think that means he won't have a good freshman year, long season. And so we'll see how it goes with him. And then with Bryce, special teams. He has to be a special teams guy this year, I think, just with his role. Again, a guy that I think could have potentially a bright future. But just with the guys ahead of him, I don't see him having a big role on the defense at this time.
From lunchboxes and
but
break
continue
rooms
to develop,
to
be ready to go
porch
in year
swings
two,
and movie
essentially.
nights. There's
All these
never a
guys,
bad time
all
to
these
share
guys,
Lay's
the way the
classic
transfer
potato
portal
chips,
works now,
made with real
all these guys
potatoes,
have to
oil,
make
and
sure
salt.
they are
That
secure in their
signature
spot,
light texture and crispy crunch
so they don't bring in a
tastes better
transfer
together.
because they
Best
think
shared with
you're not
friends,
ready
family,
yet or
your
whatever.
favorite
So you have to
coworkers.
make
Whatever
it
makes you happy.
seem like,
Lay's,
okay, coach,
what
we're
joy
good. We
tastes
don't.
like.
We
Tap
don't
the
need
banner
you to
to
bring,
buy now
essentially
and
don't bring in a
spread the
transfer
joy
because I'm
with
ready.
Lay's.
I'm ready to be that guy. And I think all these guys have to think like that.
Ugh, my phone takes such bad pics.
Girl, you gotta update that phone.
So it's going to be important for Malachi to develop.
My hot tip, go to
or
Metro.
For
The
Bryce
iPhone
to have a
13
good
is on
year,
them.
Wait,
even if he's not
Metro's
on
got
the
it
field.
covered?
Yeah, and iPhone 13 has a dual camera system.
On the defense.
So bye-bye,
But
bad
yeah,
pics.
special teams, I think he's got to be a
My
guy that makes
profile
plays.
pics are about to be on point.
Get iPhone 13 on us when you join. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
So that's
With
that's
virtual
it right
MasterCard
there.
after
That's
third
we
month, bring your number
finally
90 to a $50
drained.
plan with autopay. $55 first month.
So it's going to be 12,000, 13, 14, almost 15,000 trophies, and we're going to end up with over 109, 120, 135. It's going to end up being maybe close to 150,000 coins. I have to look back because of that one where we redeemed 13 at once. The final 7 here for 5,000. Clean 5. That was good though. JD, or maybe if I ask Dawson if he sees games around. Yeah, I'm very fascinated to know how coaches watch other games and what they take from them. And some guys don't watch as much as you would probably assume or think. Yeah, I think that too, JD, because I think we're thinking if like, oh, if we were a coach, you know, that's what you would do, you know. But I think some of that can happen. But also these guys, and not speaking about Dawson in particular, but just in general, I think these guys kind of have their own philosophies, and I don't know how much they're continuing to add the way you might assume that they do. I think personnel is a big thing too. Kind of depends what you have and will it actually work. All right, so definitely wanted to, where are we at with, let's look at the auctions. Do we still have, no we don't. Let's put some guys up. Trying to get some of these cards up because I think with season 2, as it goes on, some of these cards might not have a lot of value. Like even right here, but this one, for example, 2 days ago he went for 1,900, and now he's listed at 1,000 on a buy it now, and he's not, because nobody's buying it. But Let's see if we can get something. I'm kind of tired of these low 71s or low 70s guys. All right, we need to get them off the team, man. 1370. Can we get them for 12? Eventually, I'll just give up and just do a quick sell and get training for these guys. Yeah, this is another good example. So 2,700 for some reason at some point a few days ago, and then dropped down to 1,000 earlier today. Can we get... Our center did sell. It was an 83. Yeah, we just have the one available. Let's open up some cards. JD, earlier, so we have some good packs here. We have 2 or 3 rare packs. So these are going to be some good cards here, hopefully. Ask Mario how many games he's going to win this year. Yeah. But what would say, just joking after that? I know what Mario give me. Yeah, Mario doesn't typically chuckle too much. I mean, he's good with answering things. Yeah, how many does he think he's going to win? There was a coach years ago, though, that I was around, and every year he would write down the record he thought they would have. He would write it on an index card, put it in his desk before the season started, and then kind of would go back to it. I don't think Mario does something like that, but coaches do. So I think even if they're not going to say it publicly. MBF, also the other name is OJ Frederick. Yeah, true sophomore. He started quite a few games last year. Was he lost his job to one of the transfers? No, MBF, they like OJ. He's got to be available. I think that's a big thing for him. He's got to be a guy that they can, because he missed the spring, so he's got to be out there, and he's got to be a high-level guy. But they like him. I was hesitant. Didn't have a great ending to his season last year. But yeah, they like him. I would expect, if I were to guess, I think Lucas will have a spot, and I think Frederic. I think those are the top 2 corners. Those would be the top 2 corners I would expect at this point right now. And then kind of in that next group, maybe a Damari Brown competing with Ethan O'Connor. I would assume, the way I kind of see it, just Brown having a little bit of an edge over O'Connor. That's kind of the 4 corners at this point. And then, Keontae Scott, good cornerback, but they have him in a nickel role, which I think he'll play. They're going to line up essentially 4-2-5 quite a bit, I would expect. But yeah, Keontae will play a lot. I really like him. I really like him as an addition to this team. I'm curious to see what would be some huge influence on Dawson, how it shaped his philosophy on offense. Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with kind of early coaches that they're around early in their careers. I think that helps shape them. A lot of coaches talk like that, and then they talk about eventually, and this just has to happen, eventually they have to have their own personality on the principles that they've gained as like their base. And it can't be, you can't just copy, you can't be exactly like someone else in their playbook. I think young coaches have to find that line of, it's what you know, but then eventually you have to have your own personality and find what works for you as a coach, what you like. And I think Dawson is a guy that's been around the game and has done that. He always talks about, I will say this, and I brought it up at Media Day with him, he always talks about the run game. Like, we think so much about his offense and passing, especially with Cam. And throwing the ball, but he always talks about running. They have to be able to run the ball. Also with Holgerson for some years, he was, yeah, Hamami for sure. That's the tree he's come up through. I'm wondering if they'll be rotating corners maybe from game to game, if they start matchups with body types. I always think that too. I don't, there's not a lot of, Charles Brantley was another corner that I haven't mentioned. So those four that I mentioned, and then Brantley, but I don't know, Brantley, just because he's smaller and they like bigger players just at every position, I think I would probably have him pegged as like the fifth corner of the group. Again, that's not counting Keontae in that group, who I consider a corner, but he kind of has his own spot. He actually, when we're out there at practices, they'll do position drills and they will break it down like that. They'll do like safeties in one group, corners with one group doing their thing, and then nickel backs are over there doing their drills as well. My thing is, when you hear any past Miami people from 80s, 2000s, they all say the same thing. Miami has to lock back down the state of Florida recruiting, and more importantly, try to come here. Yeah, the thing is, MBF, the thing is, and I've seen this for a long time, this is why I've always felt like, regardless of who's coaching, as long as the area doesn't dry up with talent, I feel like Miami is going to have a chance to have a good team or a good program or a good run, whatever it might be. It gives you a chance. It makes it a lot easier when you have a talent base nearby. This goes with anybody in the country. Every school in the country would like to have a good talent base nearby. Not that you can't win without a good talent, but we've seen schools do that. But it just makes it so much more advantageous. And what we've seen in South Florida, not just that they have quantity of guys, but that the high-end quality guys, the top-end talent. And that's exactly, you got to mix that in, because we've all learned and watched Miami Hurricanes football for a long time. High-end talent comes from this area, as well as those under-the-radar guys or guys that can really develop and be really good. We've seen guys do that and be really good players at Miami and elsewhere as well. There's been really good players over the years that were overlooked or weren't quite ready for the big time, and they became really good players. So not just the top end talent, but those sleeper types, those hidden gems in the area, and just philosophy in general. You want it is ideal to have your program represented by local players. It's just like that everywhere in the country. It's just ideally, again, you can do it different ways, but yeah, that's why people talk so much about that. I wrote an article over the summer. Intro Roll did an interview, and I just aggregated it, but I took the part out. I mean, he said, the Jeremiah Smith thing, it's kind of hard, essentially hard seeing that, him doing it elsewhere. Just saw a thing where Brett Favre developed RPO at Green Bay when he was bored at practices. That's interesting. You can't focus on stars. There's too much talent down here. 5 stars getting plucked out of the bag. We know here. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy anywhere to recruit high-level guys that everybody else wants. Even it helps obviously when you're local, but it's a challenge. All right, here we go. This is a rare pack. We got 3 of these. We're gonna get something good here. So an 83 right tackle. We just picked up an 85 earlier tonight. All right, gotta get something better. Oh, here we go. This is our first one. This is our first limited edition. Our first LTD for the squad. An 88 Glenn Dorsey. I like it. That's good. I'm excited. Again, we've not been pulling an LTD yet. I was trying to think about how many packs we've actually went through earlier, because it's been a lot. Because when I grind through these challenges, I get a lot of packs, or the Twitch packs, or whatever it is, all these free packs. Again, it's no money spent. So we finally got an LTD, and it's going to be really helpful. Glenn Dorsey, 87 strength. And this one will hold up too. An 88 is our highest rated guy. This will hold up for a while. They have 88, 89 cards right now. But yeah, this is a big one. Glad you guys were here for it. JD, I know you've been showing your support. But great, MBF is here. The Juice is here as well. Welcome, Juice. Yeah, Kane season, it's coming. Is Juice the good luck here? Like, did you just pop on and watch us pull an LTD? The first one? And then, which one here? We'll grab.
Cuando juegas dominó
Oh, you
con
can
la
only pick
familia,
one. Okay.
nadie te garantiza que vas a ganar. Pero en Verizon, si tienes más de
Oh, we
55,
pick
te
one more.
garantizamos
Yeah, we get
nuestro
two.
mejor precio. Obtén un descuento de $30 al mes en 2 líneas al
We'll
cambiarte
just
Verizon
do-
con
yeah, it
Unlimited
doesn't
Welcome.
matter. They're
Ahora
the
que
same.
gana, eres tú. Visita tu tienda Verizon para ahorrar $30 al mes. Para residentes elegibles de
promote
familia mayores
him.
de 55 se requieren documentos de verificación aprobados, datos de Unlimited
So we're
5G
still in
y 4G.
85
LTE podrían
overall.
ser
I was hoping
temporalmente
that
más
bump
lentos
us
que los
up
de
to
otro
an
tráfico durante una
86.
congestión. Roaming de datos nacional a velocidades 2G. Aplican términos.
Yeah, we can.
Ever wanted to stay on vacation longer? Us too.
We'll promote him for
Vrbo's
now.
long-stay
I'll go
discounts, you
through.
can stay longer
I
and
don't need
save
to
more
sell
on select
guys
properties.
and
Gotta
stuff,
love a
but
win-win.
we'll go through.
Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank
But
you.
yeah, that was great. That was great to pull
It's
that.
time to do life simpler and enjoy a more connected home.
Yeah, I'll
with
show you what
help
the
from
squad
the
looks
Home
like
Depot.
now that we
With
have.
smart video
Like our defense
doorbells
is
and connected door
pretty
locks,
solid
check
for
to see who's at your
what
door
we're at
right from your
with
phone,
where we're at
so
right
you can
now.
take control, stay connected, and feel safe knowing your home is secure
So
wherever
we've got
you are. Find all the products
84.
you need
We
to
do have an.
life smarter at our
Yeah.
everyday
So yeah,
low
we're 84 and
prices.
above
Smart homes
everywhere
start
now.
here. The Home Depot. How doers get more
So
done.
last night, so our defensive line has changed quite a bit. Our last night we picked up Shelby at 87 and Keenan at 80. Those were our two big gets last night, and now we picked up Dorsey just now. We've had Curry for a while. Hallman's a good slot guy. The 88 Scott, the free card there. Yeah, pretty solid for again, kind of can build off of that. I like the defensive line. Got to have good guys up there. Provide some pass rush, an 84 speed for Shelby. Power move or finesse move 87. And then on offense, we really so we got that Logan Jones earlier tonight. Again, feel good about the offensive line. Kind of odd offensive line. You don't see this very often, but just in football in general. But our worst player is our left tackle. So we need a better left tackle. That's definitely an area we can upgrade. And then I like everything else except for this wide receivers. I have it just to auto generate, but we've got two tight ends for filling in 80 for tight end or wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 both are tight ends, and this is not ideal at all. We need to get better receivers. So we have that 83 Perry who's 6'5". I'll kind of show you. He's off to the right. So 6'5". So with the upgrade token for season 2, you get to make any of these season 1 players an 87. And right now I'm planning on putting it to Perry. So at 6'5", we don't know what all the attributes will be, but you figure the speed will go up a little bit. Some of those route running stuff will go up to get him up to an 87. Catching would be great if it gets to more like an 84 type. So that'll be one. That gives us one extra receiver. He'd actually move to our top guy. And I like Anderson there. He has good size as well. Yeah, 6'4", 210. But then, yeah, we still need a receiver though. We still need a receiver. Okay, let's keep this going. We got 2 more rare packs. Let's see if we can pull something else. Brett and John Gruden sat down to go over his career. Said in the mid-90s he'd run and play a defense game. Yeah, that stuff's interesting. That's cool. How does all-time passer in the state of Florida out of Norland end up at HBCU when he's bigger and stronger than Luke Nickel, Darian Coleman? I think the thing about that too is all comparison, all the things like that is just what does it look like how does their careers play out, you know? Opinions and whatever route you go, but then what does it look like? Yeah, what will Nickel do in college or at UM, you know, Coleman too? Yeah, JD, the thing, yeah, for sure. Play other people's team. That's the goal, or that's been the plan. The big thing was I kind of, even though I got the pre-order, I kind of wasn't, hadn't been really grinding on the game, so the squad wasn't great, and obviously other things that hadn't been playing it as much. And then just kind of, I feel like I've got a squad or getting close to a squad. But yeah, definitely going to, that's the plan. We'll go head to head on some challenges and get into that. Looking forward to that. And I have a friend that's been playing this too. We've both been kind of grinding. We both kind of got into it, the grind of it. This is the first time that I've really gotten into Ultimate Team. Always been kind of dynasty type, but I've enjoyed the challenge, and like I said, the no money spent. I've enjoyed that part of it too. All right, let's do another rare pack. Let's see if we can get another one. We're hoping for a receiver. Here, I'll show you the receivers that are available to get. Anyone who sees them, just overall top receivers. So yeah, the Makai Lemon, again, the 89 is kind of the highest. That's the highest card that they have. If we could pull a Moss, that'd be great, obviously. But any of these guys, Desmond would be fun. The AJ Green, I know people, I want to see what he's at. 309, that's not bad. I know kind of under 300 would be great. He might be, and we've got the currency. Like I said, we've been grinding on building the coin stack, and this AJ Green, yeah, 87 speed. Yeah. And then maybe that, yeah, AJ Green is like a kind of a special player to me because when I started inside the U, when we started, got it going, within a couple weeks, that's when I went with the Booker T football team up to South Carolina, and Booker T played AJ Green's high school team. Long time ago, it feels like, but it was a big part for the site to be able to do that. It was a lot of fun. Even now, all these years later, that's one of the kind of the coolest things that felt like I've been able to do. I had a video camera. I had just bought a video camera and then took it on the trip, kind of filmed the team, kind of doing everything. I was with them, walkthroughs. I stayed at the hotel with them. I rode on the team bus with them. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so might snag that AJ Green. Long story short. It's tough for me to spend all these coins when I have all these packs still available, and so I kind of want to, the Desmond, that'd be cool. That's crazy. So at 5'10", Desmond's an 86 speed. This is why the green card's great. 87 speed at 6'4". Corian Moore. This is a nice card too. I was really high on him. I mean, he obviously became a really highly rated guy, but I thought he was great when I saw him. So that's kind of the top receivers. You know, they got the let's see what why is there two Mosses? Oh, that's a champion. So this Moss is at 89 speed, just a little bit better. A little bit better change of direction. I want to see what this one's going for. Yeah, 740. That's crazy. I mean, he is fast. It's about. That's why that green card at 309 seems like a bargain. I want to see. let's look at yeah, so essentially you can look at these things. So spend 309 and then if I was just done with green and want to quick sell him back, I would get 250,000 back. So you're guaranteed to at least, you know, it wouldn't be, you could look at it like a 59,000 rental, but it would be a rental. I mean, he'd be our best receiver for quite a bit. Yeah, there's the short route run, medium, deep, all 85s. JD, this is a player that, you know, going head to head, this would be something that I feel like I definitely would want to have. And for a long time, you know, I was rolling out Deuce Knight at an 80 overall quarterback. That's going to make things difficult when everyone else is having other quarterbacks. And we got the Kirk Francis at 88. It kind of puts us, I felt like it kind of puts us at least in the ballpark to be competitive. Yeah, say Flowers and Turner Brown. Yeah, there's the list is crazy. Tony was the only one who wasn't very good. Yeah, the guys are sweaty. Yeah, I was reading all the comments. I was just kind of going through you guys' conversation about Malachi. Yeah, Malachi was interesting in terms of what recruiting class he was going to be in. Yeah, Green looks like a beast. I know, and
we all know that feeling. You finally managed to get away on vacation, and the worry.
And yeah,
starts.
there's. I mean, obviously, I can't spend as much
safe?
time.
What about that fake camera you
on
set
the game
up? And will
as
someone finally find your
some
old
people,
hide-a-key rock?
They
All
could
that stuff
having
is
fun with it.
safe-ish. But ADT provides security solutions that help keep you actually safe, giving you
Get some
real
plays
peace
going.
of mind.
The other thing is too,
Because
JD, like
vacation is
also
supposed
with
to
the
be,
plays,
you know,
I've been rotating
relaxing.
playbooks. I
Don't
was kind
settle
of
for
doing
safe-ish. Visit
spread.
ADT.com today to learn more.
I was kind of doing the multiple O for a little bit.
Relocating or renovating? Pod's last sale of
The air
summer has
raid
been
as well.
extended. Save up
And
to
so kind of just
25%
kind of
on moving and
collecting
storage right now until September
the thoughts
22nd.
on the
Pods
plays.
brings the
And then when I
container
was
to you,
doing
and
the
you can pack at
simple
your own
challenge stuff, I
pace.
just kind of pick a
When
few
you're ready,
plays.
we'll take it to your new
I haven't
home or
gone
store it at a
all
secure
that,
pod
but when I do
storage
the
center until
full
you need
games, I
it.
do a little bit more
And
plays.
you don't have to do the driving. Save up to 25% and see why Pods is the most awarded container moving company. Book at pods.com today.
Man, I feel like this is such a
future,
good card.
where data silos and skewed visibility are history, and risk management intelligence is interconnected across finance, procurement, and
Yeah,
compliance.
spending 300, that's
Welcome
crazy.
to the world's most comprehensive set of B2B insights, covering hundreds of millions of businesses.
I think if given the
worldwide.
chance, a 3 wide receiver unit
Continuously
should be JoJo,
updated in
Tony,
the
and
Dun &
Nykar, or
Bradstreet
Ray
Data
Ray.
Cloud.
You can have another
Get
set
future
with the
ready.
Brad's transfers,
Assess,
the dining rooms,
monitor,
where I slept
and
on,
manage
yeah.
risk with Dun & Bradstreet Risk
Yeah, I mean,
Management
CJ
Solutions.
Daniels is going to be a guy. I mean, he's just going to be their guy. I mean, he's going to be a guy in there for sure. He'll at least give the opportunity. I don't see Nykar in the picture at all. I think Ray Ray's going to give opportunity. I'm not down on Ray Ray. I've talked about this a lot. I think he's going to get opportunity. I expect him to do well. I understand what the general thoughts are with him, but I think he can have a good season. And I know that might surprise people saying that. And JoJo's got to be out there. I mean, he's got to be able to be out there, and he's got to be able to make play. He's asked to make plays when he's out there. And then Tony, I think Tony's going to figure into the mix. I think he'll get playing time. I think Josh Moore, with his size, he's been making plays. I'm impressed by Josh with what I've seen. I think Tony Johnson's kind of a veteran guy, kind of a solid guy. I feel like Marion, I need to see more from him as a receiver. Crazy part is an FSU fan, just lived down here all my life. Yeah, tell us, MBF, what was it about FSU? Like, what was it, essentially why? early on, I assume that's why your connection to FSU. I think too what we're going to see with receivers is last year was primarily 4 guys. I don't see them doing that, especially out of the gate. I think they're going to give multiple guys opportunities and kind of see how it shakes out. So that's why you're thinking like Tony can get in there, you know, like I said, Malachi Tony and Tony Johnson. I think that those are 2 guys. I think possibly more. You know, Marion's a veteran guy. I think he'll get opportunities. And I think we'll just kind of see how it shakes out with who's making plays. And I think we'll see Carson too. You know, I think Carson will kind of be able, you know, where he's delivering the ball. Shannon Dawson's always said, even when I just feel like I've asked him multiple times, but he just feels like the ball's going to go to the guys that are open, and that's kind of the offense that they have. So I think that'll be telling. Essentially, Shannon just doesn't really believe in the philosophy of feeding certain guys. I always feel like, I think that's something you see in the NFL a lot, especially if guys, just to get them going, you know, like, hey, let's run a play for so-and-so. Whereas Shannon just feels more about, and this could be a college thing too. Hellcat factor in the backfield all this year. No, I don't see that. Yeah, I think they'll go with Brown, and I think the next guy would be Pringle over Wheatley Humphrey there, MBF. I think it has a little bit more burst, or has more burst. I like his footwork better. I think he could kind of make plays. He just shiftier. I just think he's just a better all-around player, even though he's younger. Fastest wide receivers, maybe 1 and 2 on this team. Yeah, I think it's between Ray and Nye Carr in terms of the fastest players. Ray asked him in the spring. He said it's definitely him. When I asked other players about it, some of them would say Ray, some of them would say Nye. I would kind of whenever I ask that, I always leave it open-ended. Who do you think is? Because I don't like to give them names to think about. But they would say names, and sometimes, for example, JoJo wouldn't come up. So I'd say, well, what about JoJo? And they'd be like, well, no. I mean, they think he's fast. Obviously, you got to be fast, but just not quite as fast as those guys. So yeah, I guess I would say Ray and then Nye. But Nye, certainly based on the way players talk about him, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little faster either. Rayson Bowden, always respected Miami, met Randy Shannon personally, had toured the facility, so they're my number 2. Okay, I should follow Chris Johnson, get out of here. Yeah, I mean, I think any guys buried on the depth chart or behind guys, I think they're just always in position to potentially leave. I don't know what his thought process is or what he wants to do or what he enjoys, but we'll kind of see how it goes with playing time and stuff. I really like this AJ Green card. Let's do a pack, guys. Let's do a pack. Oh yeah, so I want to show you. So building towards this, we got to get the names of the game token set here. They changed it with the new upgrade. It was 23 tokens. Now you need 31. But we'll just grind to that. And then I want to show you these other tokens. So the Twitch tokens, again, getting 2 a day just by watching their show. And I'll show you what I want to do there. The 88. Yeah, it's the 88 overall BND. Yeah, this it's the 88 over. Yeah, B&D pack. So each day or each stream, I pick up 2 tokens. You need 10 regular tokens to get a super token. So for this, essentially I need 70 regular tokens, and then I'll get an 88 overall B&D player, but that's the goal. And right now, let's see how many we have. It's not going to show there. Okay, so let's just got to count them there. So there's 5 there, 11, 5 more, 16. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so they're all kind of scattered around. Can I organize them? I don't know why they just wouldn't organize it by name normally. So there's 8, 14, 23. So 23 now. And then I think I have 15 that I haven't opened. So 30, about halfway there, I guess. So figured 2 a day. They do 4 times a week. So that's 8 a week. If we're doing 70, yeah, we're still over a month away, basically. That's not too bad, but 88, I mean, essentially, that'd be good. The Mackay Lemon, everyone's excited about that one. But yeah, let's open these rare packs. Let's see if we can get, so we're looking for a wide receiver. You think we can get lucky and get an AJ Green? Where's Juice? Is he in here? I feel like Juice popped in and we got a nice card here. Our first LTD. So this isn't great. Come on. Blue. Not good here. Not a good pack at all. All right, our last one, we'll do this here. Actually, let's do one Twitch pack and get, so leave 15. So that's good. So we can flip him. These are just regular cards. That's what I like about the Twitch cards. Yeah, this one's nothing though. Anthony Carey though, recognizable name. And we're gonna go ahead and auction him off. Wow, 2 hours ago he went for 33. We might be able to get something good here. Yeah, that's a nice little free pack there. All right, here we go. We're going to open up this last rare B&D fantasy pack. We had the one good one. We got that 88 first LTD, and then that one was trash. And then here we go. Cornelius Bennett. We already have a Bennett 84. And then the Barnett, we got him as well. It's not good. We got duplicate cards. All right, guys. JD, MBF, rally up here. We got to get this LTD again. All right, that's not bad. He'd be our backup quarterback. We'll do that. And we'll do another mainstays. What's the quick sell? It's a 280 training. We'll just promote him for now. We already have Actually, let's just, yeah, I'm gonna hold him for a second. I haven't been doing the building packs with the cards, but we'll do that. Let's I'm about done here. Yeah, it's late. We get 4 tokens when we get this knocked out. What do we need? 57 rushing yards. Let's see if there's a challenge here that we can do. Pick that up. These are done. Names of the game. These are done. I want to know. I like clearing them out. The defense. This one. It's this first one. You have to intercept a pass. It's gonna be a grind to do that. I haven't been able to do it, and then just kind of move past it. JD, were you here when we picked up the Mountain Dew Stadium? I was looking at. I actually really like it. There's some cool things. I was looking at it more later, but the third challenge, whenever it gets released, yeah, it's not released yet. The third one's going to be the stadium uniform pack. So we picked up the stadium last one, and now whenever they release the new challenge, so that'll be cool. We'll rock those when we knock that out. Score 22 points. That's going to take a while. Yeah, Mountain Dudes. Yep. Yeah, it's cool. There's also like it looks better during the day, but yeah, there's a mountain in the background, and then also it's like palm trees, and it has like a cool little concourse too. I was noticing. Yeah, I'll show you what I'll show you what those uniforms look like, because when you click it, these challenges, you play with the. I've already done this one, but we can do it again. Yeah, this was a crazy challenge. Both of them have been. This one was ridiculous. This was to get both of them, you had to score a kickoff return. And it took me maybe about 10 times to knock that out. But then this one is, you'll see it here. Make a 40-yard field goal in 2 plays, and you start at your own 10 or 20. You start. I felt like you start back far. But the uniforms, these are they give you the. Oh, I wonder if they're doing. Oh, you guys are getting to see it. No, we're just doing regular. I was wondering if they're gonna do maintenance soon, or tonight. It could happen right now. But yeah, this is part of the season 2. They're going to do a maintenance. It'll go down for a little bit at some point. But yeah, nothing's changed. All right, where were we at? Challenge. Mountain Dew. what's going on. Controller's on, but I don't know what, it's not letting me back out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I guess we'll just wrap it on this. We'll check out those uniforms later. But yeah, I thought it might be the controller, but it's not letting me select it. It's letting me, I can still access stuff here. But yeah, I guess we'll just end on that. But yeah, we wrapped up everything. We got those cards. We finished off the trophy, season 2 tomorrow. Again, we get coordinators, Coach Cristobal, looking forward to talking to them. And yeah, JD, appreciate you, man, jumping on. MBF, glad you're here as well. And shout out to everybody else who kind of dropped in throughout the night. It was fun. I like our squad. I'm sitting at 85. Got some high-end players added to it. That's going to help for sure. But I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of the night and have a good day tomorrow.